Welcome to Global Entrepreneurship Week 2022, where through national campaigns, 200 nations are united behind a global mission to encourage more of their citizens to consider the path of entrepreneurship. I'd like to thank all of our hosts, our global partners, and our local organizers around the world who will try to inspire more than 10 million people to transform their world. The world needs more entrepreneurs. We need more of our citizens rethinking, ideating, of course, creating jobs and generating new value for their economies, their communities, and themselves. When we conceived of Global Entrepreneurship Week 15 years ago with the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation, we had a simple goal. We wanted to show all citizens and nations that Silicon Valley had no monopoly on entrepreneurship. We set out to inspire and give confidence to all citizens, but especially those from historically underrepresented groups, that they too could be a dreamer. They could be a doer, a risk taker. This time has never been more important for each of us to call on more of our nation's entrepreneurial potential. Entrepreneurs are more than optimists. They're natural leaders, made for uncertain times and big problems like the ones we have today. Many of us are anxious about our health, about inflation, how to pay our bills, the polarization of a world, and of course the sustainability of our planet due to climate change. But put simply, many of us are uncomfortable or even scared of this less certain and less predictable world. The good news is that entrepreneurs thrive on both problems and this uncertainty. They see possibilities. And as change accelerates, they see an infinite number of new potential solutions to test. They inspire us all to be curious, to be resilient, and confident in humanity and our ability to solve problems. The data shows in the post-pandemic world, millions of new actions are already happening and very fast across national boundaries that are, of course, porous to innovation and ideas. And while the rules and norms have changed, the early adapters, the entrepreneurs, they're already on it. So we can have that confidence. But we need more of them. So this week, organized under 4 pillars, one of entrepreneurship education, ecosystems, policy and inclusion, enablers of all kinds are trying to inspire more of us to become that next generation of dreamers and builders. GEW will offer inspiring talks, forums, networking events, hackathons, and award ceremonies. It also offers dozens of pitch competitions anchored by our Entrepreneurship World Cup, where we'll have national competitions and applications from nearly 200 countries. There will be events everywhere in the world, from Alaska to Auckland, hosted by, of course, thousands of partners and leaders who are all set on listening, learning, and hopefully inspiring more of us, more of you, to take action. And while philanthropic leaders like the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation in the United States are at its heart, during GEW you will hear from corporations like FedEx, heads of state like South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is joining me shortly at our 22 on Sloan campus for a hackathon and award ceremony in Johannesburg. And there will be thousands of entrepreneurial support organizations, investors, community leaders, and of course entrepreneurs themselves. We'll also have lots of news and announcements. We just announced the opening of our latest Gen campus in Turkey. There'll also be announcements, for example, in the United States about new programs. We're going to be launching an equitable access to credit program. And we'll also have lots of news about upcoming events, including a summit in Kansas City. But generally speaking, while we'll have towns like Kansas City, we'll have hundreds of live events. There will also be lots of virtual activities. I, for one, will be hosting several leaders on my podcast throughout the week, including not just stories from the early days of GEW, but stories from ministers, entrepreneurs, and in fact, at least one of our global partners that's been with us since day one of Global Entrepreneurship Week, who I'm very proud to say was just nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. And of course, for all of you who wish to get together live and in person, we'll also be opening registration for the next Global Entrepreneurship Congress set to happen in Melbourne, Australia on May 1 through 4. It will be, you can go to gec.co if you want to sign up And that'll be an opportunity for you to think about, how do I connect in person with more of the people that have been celebrating this week? But we're all around a common value proposition. How do we inspire more people to be bigger than the sum of their parts? How do we inspire more historically underrepresented entrepreneurial ecosystems and communities to join this exciting world where we reboot, rethink, regenerate to transform our world? We aspire to light the candles in more of the hearts and minds of young people and people who previously felt left out of our ecosystems. And we hope to level the playing field, making it possible for anyone, anywhere to start or scale a firm. My thanks to all of our team at Gen Global who've worked around the clock on this. I also want to thank again all our national host organizations in each country and the thousands of volunteer organizers who across the world have donated their time and talent to engage in their communities. Thank you, and have a great Global Entrepreneurship Week.